Welcome back. A well-known hitman decides to return to a life of crime to fulfill some bloody ties that bind. ABC Columbia movie reviewer Matt Perrone explains if the sequel was dead on arrival or worth shooting to the theater.
Welcome to another Monday. This weekend we had 3 new releases that combined for the biggest box office yet of 2017. For the next 9 days, I will be reviewing all of the Oscar Best Picture nominations. So for today's review, I wanted a guilty pleasure, something to get as far away from award-winning as humanly possible. And no, that does not mean 50 Shades Darker. I avoided the first one and I am avoiding the second one at all costs. I want to see the Lego Batman movie, but that's not the guilty pleasure I was looking for. But John Wick Chapter 2, that's exactly what I was searching for. I reviewed the first one and I really enjoyed it, so let's see if the sequel lived up to my hopes and expectations. Our movie begins by concluding the first one. John Wick, played by Keanu Reeves, infiltrates what is left of the Russian syndicate to retrieve his car that was taken in the first. After a, quote, agreement is reached, John heads home to give retirement another try. Suddenly, a person from his past shows up to call on a debt that John owes. After begging him not to do this, John still refuses and forces this man, Santino, to be a little more convincing. Now being homeless, John is forced to return to the Continental to see what his options are. He is advised that based on the rules, he is obligated to fulfill his debt or face fatal consequences. John heads to Rome in order to complete his obligation. Of course, this means he has to become outfitted, and through fun sequences, we get to see him acquire gear and weapons to help complete his task. In true John Wick fashion, we watch him take on insurmountable odds to accomplish a task that he is being forced into. Unfortunately for him, Santino doesn't want any loose ends coming back to him, so suddenly John finds himself the target of an international assassination contract. He manages to escape back to New York, only to realize that he isn't safe from anyone in the city tied into the organization, and that could literally be anyone. As the movie progresses, John has to find safe passage around the city and make his way to Santino for justice and to save his own skin. We see action and violence galore as John stops at nothing to get to his target. We watch incredulously as the enemies keep coming, only to fall to John's special skills. We wait to see exactly how crazy the movie is going to get, all the while wondering exactly how everything is going to end. So, what to say about this one? To start with, it was such a great way to decompress before I have to start reviewing the Oscar hopefuls tomorrow. Like I said before, I really enjoyed the first one, and this second one takes the rules of action movie sequels to the extreme. If you think there was a high body count in the original, it pales in comparison to this one. The action sequences are bigger and badder, and you once again find yourself giggling guiltily at some of the more violent dispatching of his enemies. John Wick is a character that had to have been created with Keanu Reeves in mind. The role is absolutely perfect for him, and I can't imagine anyone doing it better. He absolutely nails the dry wit that allows us to believe him is an unbeatable assassin. If you like the first one, then this sequel does not disappoint. In fact, some of the people I know that have seen it like it even more than the original. I have to be fair and balanced, though. I did go see this with my family, and my mom would probably give it a pass? Well, I've mentioned it several times now, but tomorrow begins the Oscars overview. That's right, for the next 9 days, I will review each of the Oscar Best Picture nominees leading up to them airing on Sunday, February 26th, right here on ABC Columbia. So, I hope to see you again tomorrow, but this has been your Monday Movie Musing. Back to you.
All right, Matt, we can't wait. And you may want to hold off on a trip to the movies until later in the week because it is another gorgeous day outside. We have one last look at your 7-day forecast. It's coming up next.